И как я, оказывается.
Эй, мала, ну что за дела же?
Уая, Таир, эй! Шеф, штраф что надо делать? Отжимание.
Ты мой тренер. Он мой тренер сказал, беги. Все.
Босиком специально босиком, брат, чтобы не подскользнулась нога.
This is a farm of warriors. You know, Khabib Nurmagomedov, him, Abdulmanap.
Мне нормально, если балл я не отдам, взять не обязательно. Я не знаю, что делать. Все уже.
They hate the way you walk. They hate the way you talk. They said you're just the McGregor fanboy, that you never reached the top 10. They hate your wife, they hate your family, and they even hate the food you eat. They said you're just a hype train, that you get kicked out of every gym. I'm going to go out there and do what's natural and do what's free to me. Just go out there and have fun and be me. But I know I'm well capable of going out there and putting him in the dirt. I know I'm well capable of going out there, finishing him, beating him up, and doing it. I'm going to prove it by doing it against a guy that many think is the boogeyman.
So whatever you think Fight Week is like,
Faz acordo, ele sobe de peso.
I didn't have to cut weight, no. The biggest thing that I can sit there and say about my team is they don't blow smoke up my arse. They are not yes men. And when we get an opportunity to shift everything on a dime.
When the pound for pound king talks, people listen. And GSP just made his prediction for UFC 330 loud and clear.
I think the odds, because of the style, favors Makhachev probably. Because of the the styles. I think Islam Makhachev have maybe more ways to win the fight. So if I'm just thinking rational, according to the odds, I think it favors Makhachev. But Ian Garry definitely has all the chance also on his side to do it. He's a very good striker. He's very long. He's great grappling, a great grappler as well. But he need, I think, to find a way to keep the fight standing.
Makhachev gives Ian Machado Garry credit for his skills, but brushes off the pre-fight trash talk, chalking it up to Garry playing the bad guy role rather than anything genuine.
He wants to beat you in your own world on the ground, and he's going to bounce your head off the canvas and stop history from happening. What do you make of this?
Bro, I saw his couple interview. Honestly, he looks very bad in this interview. Better for him training more and do less interview. You know? It look like somebody in the house control him and tell him what to say in the interview. You know? He look very bad in the interview, honestly.
On the mentality front, Makhachev describes his camp in New Jersey as comfortable and locked in, making clear he's fully committed to the sport and shutting down any talk of retirement.
It's like somebody put the fake news, I'm gonna retire it after this fight. No, it's not true, man. I want to keep going, you know. The feeling when you like stay in shape, stay like become best fighter, you know, is the amazing things, you know. You're never gonna find something like this outside this sport, you know. I want to keep fighting, and we'll beat like all records, and we stay here more.
Bringing in Robert Whitaker's perspective, he credits Ian Garry as a tall, skilled fighter with real strengths across the board. He goes on to predict Garry could give Makhachev genuine trouble in the fight.
Yeah, well, I think Islam would have to be a strong favourite, but I think Ian's going to give him some problems because Ian's a tall guy, he's got great jiu-jitsu, he's got great striking. Yeah, I think Ian Garry's going to give Islam a lot of problems.
Okay, but is that enough problems to defeat him, or do you think Islam still takes him?
Yeah, I think Ian Garry can win. I think he can walk away with it, to be honest.
Islam Makhachev has now settled into his new weight class, and the difference from his first cut is already noticeable. Now, as he prepares for his second welterweight title defense against Ian Garry at UFC 330, he notes that he feels more physically prepared and comfortable with the weight compared to his previous transition. If that comfort translates into better performances, the division could be looking at a long reign. For Makhachev, the weight class is no longer a concern, it's just another part of his preparation.
How comfortable do you feel for a welterweight fight this time compared to last time?
Yeah, now I feel more comfortable, honestly. The first camp so hard, I just tried to gain weight, do a lot of lifting program, but this camp I stay in the same weight, you know. I'm not like go down. Now I'm like real welterweight, and this camp I think is more easy. But you cannot say this easy, but because we're not lifting much. Honestly, I watched the fight with Jack. I don't like this fight, you know, because I want to be just double champ. I just fighting like, you know, just for the win, you know. I don't do some things to finish Jack because I understood I win every round and just want to take the second belt. But if this like regular fight, if like we fight second times, I see I can finish.
Looking at the UFC's approach to backup fighters, Chael Sonnen pointed out the inconsistency in how they handle major events, noting that while the UFC often skips backup fighters for even the most massive, record-setting events, they have chosen to utilize one here. If the UFC can't maintain a consistent approach, fighters and fans alike could be left questioning the organization's priorities. For the sport, this isn't just about backup fighters. It's about the credibility of the UFC's own decision-making.
I mean, we just had the White House. Biggest event of all time. Interim champion versus undisputed champion. There was no backup fighter. As a matter of fact, Arman Sarukian offered to be the backup fighter. Why is there a backup fighter for Garry and Islam? I like it. I like the idea of backup fighter. I've just never understood where sometimes we have one, and more often than not, we do not. As a matter of fact, I like Morales in the backup role. Morales allegedly was told that his next fight would be for the belt. Allegedly. Now, why do I say that? It was at Madison Square Garden, and there was somebody that claimed to have read Dana White's lips.
Breaking down what it actually means to be a backup fighter, Chael Sonnen explained the formal obligations that come with the role, requiring a full training camp, getting licensed in the event's jurisdiction, and successfully making weight, all for the possibility of stepping in on short notice. If Morales goes through all that and doesn't get the call, the time and effort invested could feel like a waste. For Morales, this isn't just a backup role, it's a bet on the chance that the opportunity will come.
Something happens to this main event, I'm the next guy that gets called. That's not quite backup fighter. Backup fighter is actually contractual. And it has to be. You have to participate financially to a degree. Why? Because you go through a training camp. Because your team and your coach is going to fly to the event on the outside chance that you get thrown in. And it's not really a situation where you got to leave with something, but you got to be able to pay coach. You just have to. He did the same thing. It's also relevant that Morales said if they miss weight. And why is that relevant? That was one of the key reasons that you ever brought in a backup fighter.
Turning to the overall consensus among those interviewed, the majority of fighters view Islam Makhachev as a massive favorite heading into this fight, and the reasoning tends to come back to the same core strengths. They point to his world-class grappling, his dominant wrestling pedigree, and his ability to control the pace and location of a fight as the factors that make him so difficult to deal with, regardless of who's standing across from him. For most of them, it's less a question of whether Makhachev's game plan will work, and more a question of whether anyone currently has the tools to stop it.
I think it's hard to count on Islam right now. He's just so dominant. I don't see Ian having a lot of options to winning that one.
Man, it's very interesting to see how this fight plays out because one of the only loss that Ian Garry has been against a real tough grappler when he fought Shavkat. So seeing him going against another tough grappler, I can see that being where he struggles. But one of the things that I think Shavkat brought to the table that Islam doesn't necessarily bring is just the sheer size difference. Like Shavkat is also a lankier opponent as well. Like he doesn't allow for a guy to be able to stay on the outside and kind of pick him apart.
When asked for predictions on the Makhachev-Garry fight, many consider Islam the heavy favorite due to his world-class grappling, dominant wrestling, and overall consistency factors that have made him one of the most difficult fighters to beat in the sport. If Garry can't find a way to neutralize those advantages, the fight could become one-sided. For Garry, this isn't just about proving he belongs, it's about rewriting the narrative of what's possible against a fighter who seems to have no weaknesses.
I think it's a really good fight, and I think Ian is going to surprise a lot of people with how talented he is and how skillful he is. Actually, I trained with him for the Carlos Prates fight, so I'm excited to go see him perform as well. And yeah, I think he gets it done. So we'll see.
I think Makhachev. Makhachev is bigger, and he's stronger, and like he got more power, and he gonna take him down and hold him.
Islam Makhachev defends his welterweight title against Ian Garry in the UFC 330 main event on August 15th in Philadelphia, and the consensus is clear. The champion is a heavy favorite thanks to his world-class grappling and consistent dominance. But Garry's movement, reach, and growing confidence have earned him backing from analysts like Chael Sonnen and even Ilia Topuria, who see a path to an upset if the challenger can keep the fight standing. Do you think Garry can pull off the upset, or will Makhachev's wrestling prove too much? Drop your prediction in the comments who wins and how. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss more fight previews and predictions.